Welcome back to Mike the Birdman from Minnesota. In this episode of Bird of the Month, the Pileated Woodpecker, I would like to feature Oliver Charley's 16mm film that he shot of the Pileated Woodpecker. I met Oliver Charley when he was 92 years old, and him and Dick Peterson were two of my main mentors that introduced me to wildlife photography. We are truly fortunate to have access to Oliver's 16mm film and Dick's 8mm film. Oliver used a 16mm Kodak wind-up camera and a telephoto lens to capture wildlife. The nest site of the Pileated Woodpecker is usually in a dead tree, but in this case, it is nesting in a utility pole. And now I would like to introduce Oliver Charley to you and share his 16mm film of the Pileated Woodpecker.
Here we have the Pileated Woodpecker, the largest of our woodpecker family. This particular pair was nesting in a transformer pole right close to the St. Croix River's edge. And the pileated, the other one is all right, took to drilling a hole in this pole and making a nest. Here we have the male looking about. They're a little bit confused because Northern States Power Crew is around to make a change. They have to transfer, I should say, from one pole to another. And they spent a whole day here. It cost them several $100. Put up a pole alongside of the one that is pretty well chiseled out for the pileated woodpeckers. And the being there on the job, filming, a lucky shot for me, by the way, they spent nearly a whole day here, and they were more interested really in the pileated and its welfare than they were in doing their duty, which I thought was very nice of them. And I'd like to add too that just a few minutes after the crew had pulled out, why, the pileates came back again, kind of excited and nervous, wondering what is going on. They left the pole here for 2 years, but the pileates did not come back. So after that, they took the pole down. Very interesting experience. Pileated, by the way, is a large woodpecker, largest in the family, and about comparable to a crow in size. And their call, you can hear it for half a mile. The male has a way of raising the crest, the red crest on top. And in color, they are super bird. By the way, here's a good place to get released from a migraine headache if you have one. Pounding out the chips, listening for the wood ants. Happens to be a soft maple tree just back of our barn. And of course, I might add, a lucky place to be with these birds working. These large birds are a permanent presence. They do not migrate. And when one considers the abundance of dead trees, oaks and poplar, aspen, softwoods, they have plenty of chance for nesting sites and also for wood ants, which is their main dish. One can hear them pound sometimes. There's no wind, maybe a half a mile away, because it's a loud, loud sound. And the chips really do fly. They seem to listen at times, if they hear any movement of the ants. In and out of the nest they go. And I've noticed too, they seldom fly into the nest. It seems they're up a little bit high and they just glide right to the tree, noiseless. So they're what we call a shy bird. And let's add another note. They're a spectacular, beautiful bird. Not common. Here is a little one looking for something to eat, and the male standing close by. And by the way, they always have a 3-point suspension, let's call it, when they're on a tree. They use their tail stiffened for an anchor.
I would like to thank Oliver Charley for sharing his 16mm film with us, and I hope that you've enjoyed this episode of Bird of the Month, the Pileated Woodpecker. And if you would like to see more of this kind of content, please subscribe to my channel.